Institute Fit Pro Fitness Academy at Gold's Gym, Ganeshguri. 100% placement guaranteed. Join us today and no cost EMI is available.
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
If you want to become a government certified fitness trainer, nutrition coach, join Northeast #1 Fitness Institute Fit Pro Fitness Academy at Gold's Gym, Ganeshguri. 100% placement guaranteed. Join us today and no cost EMI is available.
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m. News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
If you want to become a government certified fitness trainer, nutrition coach, join Northeast #1 Fitness Institute Fit Pro Fitness Academy at Gold's Gym, Ganeshguri. 100% placement guaranteed. Join us today and no cost EMI is available.
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m. News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
If you want to become a government certified fitness trainer, nutrition coach, join Northeast #1 Fitness Institute, FitPro Fitness Academy at Gold Gym, Ganeshguri. 100% placement guaranteed. Join us today and no cost EMI is available.
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m. News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
Welcome to this special broadcast on a mega Northeast Live exclusive from Nagaland. The Government of India has come up with a concrete proposal for resolution of the long-standing ENPO issue in Nagaland. Documents available with Northeast Live reveal that the Government of India has proposed the constitution of an autonomous territory or council covering the 6 eastern districts in Nagaland. The Nagaland government has convened a consultative meeting at 1:30 p.m. on June 30th at the State Banquet Hall in Kohima to discuss the centre's proposal for maximum autonomy in the 6 districts of Tuensang, Mon, Longleng, Kifiri, Samator and Noklak. Well-informed sources privy to the series of discussions between the ENPO and the Government of India have said that the proposed administrative arrangement will have 40 elected members and 9 nominated members. That means it is going to be a 49-member council. Sources said the administrative arrangement will have legislative, executive and financial autonomy and may be called the Frontier Naga Territory. The outcome of the consultative meet on June 30th may pave the way for the signing of a historic ENPO agreement. The consultative meet in Kohima will be attended by the Chief Minister Nephew Rio, Deputy Chief Minister Y. Patton and T.R. Jeliang, 19 other MLAs and advisors, besides the 2 MPs from the state and the Speaker of the Nagaland Assembly. Representatives from tribal organizations like the Central Naga Tribes Council, Angami Public Organization, Tenimi People's Organization, Chakesang Public Organization and the Nagaland Garo Tribal Council among others will also attend the consultative meeting. Sources claimed that the Government of India has agreed to bring 45 departments under the new administrative structure, and a separate secretariat will be established in the eastern region. Further, an additional Director General of Police will be appointed exclusively for the new autonomous territory. There have been hectic parleys this month between the ENPO and the Ministry of Home Affairs. At the invitation of the MHA, a 12-member ENPO delegation led by its president, Chapikyu Sangtam, held talks with Union Home Minister Ajay Bhalla on the 16th of June. The delegation also met interlocutor and special advisor of the MHA, A.K. Mishra, on the 17th of June. Sources added that there are still some loose ends that needs to be sorted out before a final solution is reached and a final meeting is held. It was in 2010 that the ENPO submitted its first memorandum to the Government of India. The ENPO has been demanding a separate frontier Nagaland comprising the eastern parts of the state, saying that the region cannot develop unless it was granted full autonomy and a separate administration. The eastern districts that we are talking about were originally a part of the Northeast Frontier Agency, a separate administrative unit established by the British as the Tuensang Frontier Division. The area became a full-fledged state of Nagaland in 1963. It took 10 years for the region to be represented in the Nagaland Assembly. Viewers, this is the big story we are tracking at this point in time. This is a mega exclusive from Nagaland. The central government and the ENPO appears to be on the verge of signing a historic agreement. Let us listen to what Chapikyu Sangtam, the ENPO president, told me when I spoke to him a short while ago. Good afternoon. Am I speaking to Mr. Chapikyu Sangtam?
Yes, right.
Mr. Sangtam, you have had a series of discussions with the central government during
Yes.
this month. On 16th, you met the Union Home Secretary, Ajay Bhalla. Then on 17th, you met the advisor, Mr. A.K. Mishra, interlocutor. So, can we tell the people of Nagaland that some kind of a solution is worked out?
Oh, we are expecting within no time to be signed. It's a
Agreement.
MOS agreement,
Okay.
but it's not yet finalized yet.
Yes, obviously. But you have narrowed down a lot of differences. You have agreed on a lot of things, right?
Right. But then here state government says that according to the paper this morning, I see that they are going to discuss about the autonomous council, which was earlier they have just recommended to the Sunday autonomous council, but we have already rejected that autonomous council. So I
So
think we have no say on that.
Right,
Because
but
our demand is a little bit different.
But our sources, Northeast Live has heard from our reliable sources that you have agreed more or less on Frontier Naga territory. It will be a
Right.
territorial council.
Right. Other thing.
Frontier Naga territory, right?
Frontier Naga territory. Yes.
Okay, and we have also heard that it will have 40 constituencies, at least minimum 40 constituencies.
40 assembly constituency members, that's 40 legislative members, and with nominees, nine nominee members.
Nine nominee members will be elected or not?
Yes, that is, yes, they've agreed. So it will be 49 members.
Oh, it will be 49.
Right. That's the thing.
Okay. 40 elected and 9 nominated. Anyway, Mr. Sangtam, let us hope the issue is resolved sooner than later. Thank you for speaking to Northeast Live.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Okay. And Nagaland Chief Secretary J. Alam confirmed the holding of the consultative meet on the 30th of June in Kohima. Let's listen in to Nagaland Chief Secretary J. Alam speaking to our reporter Sarah Konyak in Kohima.
The state government have called for a consultative meeting on the 30th with regard to the ENPO's demand for Frontier Nagaland. What is the status and what is the take of the government on the proposal which was submitted by the organization to the union, to the central government?
We are going to have this consultation on the 30th of June, and in that session only we will discuss the proposal of the Government of India and the views of various stakeholders, and those views will be communicated to the Government of India, and then the final decision will be taken later.
Well, that was J. Alam, the Nagaland Chief Secretary, confirming the holding of the consultative meet. In fact, I am holding this notification issued by the Home and Political Department of the Government of Nagaland, inviting various people for this consultative meet at 1:30 p.m. on the 30th of June at the State Banquet Hall in Kohima. Now, this consultative meet will talk to the different stakeholders, different Naga tribes councils of the various communities, like the Central Naga Tribes Council, the Tenimi People's Organization, Angami Public Organization, House, and then Chakasang Public Organization, Nagaland Garo Tribes Council. So these are representatives apart from the Chief Minister, the two Deputy Chief Ministers, the Speaker, the two Rajya Sabha MPs, besides around 17 to 18 MLAs and advisors of the Nagaland government, including several of whom are representing the 6 eastern districts. I have with me our news editor, Nabarun Goswami, joining me in this special broadcast. Nabarun, if this agreement is signed, it's going to be really historic as far as Nagaland is concerned. What are some of the questions that come to your mind at this point?
Well, first of all, Vasbir, does this come as a surprise, this massive development in such a short period of time? I would say no. Probably the way A.K. Mishra and his team was working along with the ENPO, it showed the intent from the very beginning. So are you surprised that this is happening at, I would say, a rather short period of time? The ENPO demand, if you remember, as you just mentioned, goes back to 2010 when the first memorandum was submitted, 13 years, and then this government within a matter of months, almost resolving the issue.
Absolutely, Nabarun. A.K. Mishra is a very cool operator. He doesn't come before the media, but he does his work continuously. He has been, in fact, working tirelessly, the interlocutor and special advisor in the MHA, Mr. A.K. Mishra, a very, very veteran bureaucrat who knows the Northeast now like the back of his hand. Now, he has been working tirelessly. But, these things does not come overnight. This happened, the first memorandum, as we have been saying, was submitted by the ENPO in 2010. They were demanding a separate frontier Nagaland. That was the demand. The complaint by all the elected representatives as well as the community leaders in the 6 eastern districts was that the government of Nagaland was not doing enough to project the interest to bring about development and build infrastructure and create jobs for the people in the eastern districts. Now, but ironically, Nabarun, that area, the 6 districts has 20 legislators. 1/3 of the legislators in Nagaland belong to the eastern region. And this question was asked repeatedly to some of the ENPO members as well as the Naga political leaders that despite having 20 legislators, why were they not able to bring in development to the eastern region? Then the answer of Nabarun was that, that unless they have the power in their hands, they are not able to bring in development the way they want. What do you think about that?
But do you think, end of the day, it is the poll boycott call? It was the poll boycott call that actually, proved as a trigger to this entire development, to the progress of talks and the speeding up of talks, and now we have this.
Right. We have the leader of the Naga Tribes Council, Theza Terry, joining me on the program, and I also have our correspondent Sarah Konyak standing by live from Kohima. But before coming to you, Sarah, give me a few moments. I'll come to you. But let me go to Theza Terry, the leader of the Naga Tribes Council. Theza Terry, welcome to this special broadcast. We are just breaking this big story from Nagaland that the government of India has come up with a concrete proposal, and that is going to be discussed by the Nagaland government with invited representatives on the 30th of June. So this breakthrough, were you expecting this breakthrough so soon?
Yeah, Mr. Wasbir, I have nothing much to comment because the talk in the present stage, we are not privy to anything. But then we have all our good wishes with the ENPO. Whatever may be the negotiation, whatever may be the settlement, whether it's granting of autonomous administration or even the separate funding, we have absolutely no problem. But there's no question of separate state or separate territory parting with Nagaland.
No, Mr. Theza Terry, nobody is suggesting a separate state. The proposal says that there will be a frontier Naga territory. Is supposed to be the name that is given to this special administrative structure, and it will have 40 elected members and 9 nominated members. This will be within the Nagaland state, and there will be an additional Director General of Police that will be appointed. There will be 40 elected members, 9 nominated members, and the Government of India proposes to bring 45 departments under this new administrative setup. So this is quite a lot of autonomy. I think this should satisfy the aspirations of the Eastern Nagas, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because we cannot deny that there is a lack of parity in development. And then there are so many areas where they have resentment, to which we also acknowledge. I think there is a large-scale failure on the part of the government to give them a fair governance in developing the ENPO area. So, for some time, I think there can be a measure where they can be helped and compensate what lost was there in the past, so that they can come at parity with the rest.
Right.
So this kind of autonomous arrangement or other solution that work out with some practical step to build up the ENPO area to come at par with the rest of the other districts, I think it's most welcoming.
Absolutely. Now, before I let you go, Teza Terry, final question. Now we are on the verge of seeing an agreement between the Government of India and the ENPO. Do you get a sense that, this will eventually lead to the signing of the Naga peace agreement, although the two issues are not linked, but does it bring in a ray of hope?
On the larger interest, I think it can become a part of Naga political solution. It depends on the wisdom and the political will on the part of the Government of India. I don't feel there can be any such kind of permanent settlement if it is just attend to just ENPO area. So there has to be a wholesome and a holistic approach towards the problem, so that the long-pending political solution can also arise along with the ENPO issues can also be addressed in the line of that. But everything depends on the political will and the wisdom of the Government of India.
Absolutely. Teza Terry there, the leader of the Naga Tribes Council. Thank you very much for joining this special broadcast on Northeast Live. I'll come to you, Nabarun. Let me go to Kohima, where our correspondent Sarah Konyak is with me. Sarah, a very big development, isn't it? Dramatic developments rather, and Government of India has come up with a concrete proposal, and the Nagaland government is having this consultative meeting on the 30th of June.
Absolutely, Wasbir. This is a very significant development with regard to the demand of the Eastern People's Organization for demanding for a separate statehood. It may be mentioned that the demand initially was for a separate statehood. However, the Government of India had rejected to it, and now they have come to a certain understanding with a unique arrangement. And the new administrative is likely to be named the Frontier Naga Territory. The Nagaland government have also called for a consultative meeting with 16 of the Eastern legislators, as well as the 2 deputies and other civil society and tribal bodies. We'll have to wait and watch how the consultative meeting goes, whether the other tribal unions, the tribal bodies and the civil society organizations will agree to what has been agreed between the two parties. Wasbir, let me also raise a point here that in the recently held cabinet meeting, the cabinet had expressed their displeasure over the demand of the ENPO with regard to a financial autonomy, which now it has been confirmed that the Government of India has agreed to it. And the cabinet had informed, had entrusted the Eastern Nagaland Legislators Union to speak with the ENPO. And subsequently, after the 16th and the 17th June meeting there in the national capital in New Delhi, the ENPO had called for a consultative and emergency meeting on the 24th, last Saturday, there in Dimapur. And the meeting was held along with the respective tribal, the 7 tribal units of the ENPO and the in lieu as well. And sources privy to the meeting had informed us that the Eastern Legislatures Union had also said that if this is what is good for the people, for the Eastern region people, then they should go ahead with it. Wasbir.
Right, Sarah. Now we have seen from this invitation by the government of Nagaland, the Home and Political Department, that 6 major tribes councils, tribal groups councils have been invited for this meeting. Now, do you think anybody will have objection to this agreement or the proposed agreement? Do you think anybody may raise serious objections to it? What is the sense that you have?
Well, Wasbir, over the time when, especially last year, when the ENPO had come up with the demand that unless and until the government of India gives a positive response to their demand for a separate statehood, that is the frontier Nagaland, the Eastern people will boycott the election and will not participate in any of the state and the central elections. Well, this had grabbed a lot of attention, and the government of India, as we can sense, has taken the voice of the ENPO very seriously, and subsequently the MHA had constituted a 3-member team who had also visited the Eastern region, who was on a 3-day visit in the Eastern region, and they had submitted their proposals. Well, during the peak of the time when the ENPO had demanded for a positive response and boycotting of the election as well as the Hornbill, we spoke to a lot of other organizations, and there is no doubt that there has been discrepancy in the Eastern area especially with regard to the development of the region. Many organizations have agreed, they have not denied, they respect the sentiments of the people. However, we cannot say anything as of now. We will get to know only during the consultative meeting whether they will have a yes to what has been agreed upon,
right,
or whether they will object to what
right
has been agreed upon between the 2 governments. Because as we can see, there is going to be 40 more constituency. However, the ENPO is of the view that the unique arrangement which is being made between the 2 parties will not affect the present functioning of the Nagaland state government.
Absolutely, absolutely. Sarah, don't go away. Stand by. Don't go away. Nabarun, you know, A.K. Mishra, the man who doesn't remain in the spotlight at all, but he works silently, as I've said in my opening remarks. Now that we are on the verge of an ENPO deal. In fact, the ENPO delegation met A.K. Mishra in New Delhi as recently as on the 17th of May. Now, do you think that after this agreement, there will be hopes of A.K. Mishra, at the end of the day, being able to maneuver the bottlenecks as far as the Naga Peace Accord is concerned, and will be able to come up with some kind of a ground that will prepare the reaching of an agreement sooner than later?
Well, Asbir, I personally feel that these are 2 different things, and
absolutely, these are 2 different things, of course.
Not much. We cannot really say if this can propel faster solution to the Naga issue. But let us once again look at the ENPO movement. Whenever there is a separate state demand in any state in this country, it is always vehemently opposed by the existing government, the state. But in the case of ENPO, everyone, right from the chief minister to the civil society groups to the tribal bodies, everybody was on the same page that the ENPO demand is genuine. Maybe asking for a separate state which would further divide Nagaland is not perhaps the wise thing to do, but they have a genuine demand. And now when you look at these figures, 45 departments to be brought, we'll have 49 representatives, 40 of them elected, 9 nominated. It will be interesting to see the budgetary allocation for the 6 eastern districts, and if with the bringing of 45 departments, DGP appointed exclusively,
additional
DGP appointed exclusively, definitely hopes do rise that finally after 75 years after independence, this part of the country will see the development that the people of the area always wanted to see.
Now, this is more or less, this will be going on the lines of the Bodoland Territorial Council. Now, as I have spoken to Sapikyu Sangtam, the president of the ENPO, he told me that this notification, of course, says that the consultative meeting for a constitution, the centre's proposal for a constitution of the Autonomous Council, that's what the notification, the meeting notice issued by the Nagaland government said. But Mr. Sangtam, who is the ENPO president, he has categorically said that this nomenclature of an autonomous Autonomous Council has already been rejected by the ENPO, and that he claimed that the center has agreed to this new name, that is the Frontier Naga Territory. Now, it's just a name, you know. At the end of the day, the terms of reference, at the end of the day, the provisions in this proposal will be more or less the same that would have been there had it been a council. But now, but territory is definitely something which is above the council, isn't it, Sarah? This is unique in the sense that it will have 40, as much as 40 elected representatives. 9 nominated members will be, of course, nominated by the governor of Nagaland, and it will have all the powers, legislative, administrative, and financial powers, and then additional DGP will be appointed to look after the law and order in this new administrative structure. Sarah.
Absolutely, Waspir. That is why the ENPO are also saying that this is a unique arrangement. And with regard to the proposal of an autonomous council, the demand right after the memorandum was submitted by the ENPO to the Prime Minister of India in the year 2010, the Nagaland Legislative Assembly had taken up the issue on urgent public discussion in the Assembly, where they had proposed for an autonomous council for the ENPO for the Eastern region. However, this was flatly rejected by the Eastern people, and till date they stand to it that they will not accept anything less than a separate statehood. However, if we come to it now, to the arrangement that has been made between the two parties, the ENPO has narrowed down a lot of their demands with regard. However, the main intention is to bring development in the region and to be at par with the other Naga tribes here in the state. So I think the arrangement has been consently agreed by both the parties, and the government of India, the center, have also personally visited the region and have taken their own assessment, which was reported to the Ministry of Home Affairs. So all in all, we can say that it is a fair deal, especially from the ENPO side, because for the last many decades, there has been a discrepancy in the terms of development, be it education, road structure, infrastructure, everything. Yeah. So I think if this new arrangement is made possible, if it comes to reality, then I think Absolutely. This will definitely benefit the Eastern region. And I would also like to raise a point here, Waspir, is that the ENPO will be meeting the MHA team very soon in Guwahati. This is what our sources have informed. There's still some loose ends that needs to be tied, and very soon they will be finalizing a date to sign the final agreement, and sources are saying that it is likely to happen before the monsoon parliament. Big breaking story. Sarah, thank you very much for joining this special broadcast. The big breaking story is that there will be a meeting of the ENPO with the interlocutor and the MHA team in Guwahati shortly, and a date will be fixed. So, number one, final comments, curtains down on yet another contentious issue in Nagaland, in the northeast. Well, Waspir, let's wait for the consultative meet. The MLAs are there, a lot of tribal organizations have been invited, and let's hope the historic deal is signed soon. Absolutely, that is a big ray of hope as far as the northeastern region is concerned. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Indian Home Minister Amit Shah has been taking a keen interest to resolve all issues in the northeast, and this is one of the issues that has kept Nagaland in the headlines. And once this ENPO issue is resolved, one may presume that the center's entire focus will be on the Naga political issue, and we hope that sooner than later that issue is also going to be resolved. Thank you very much for joining us on this special broadcast. And as we say, all breaking news comes first only on your channel Northeast Live.